Good afternoon, Danny. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. My first question to you is, what do you like about your work?
Good afternoon, Tom. Thanks for having me on. So I work as a football coach at a grassroots club called Kinder FC, and I also work at a international school teaching, coaching football there. And as well as that, I'm also busy since sort of lockdown, working as a sub PE teacher. So very busy time at the moment.
Excellent.
And just to obviously answer your question, sorry. So I really love obviously sport and especially football, hence why I've got into that side of things. I enjoy working with people and developing people and seeing them grow as obviously players, students, or as people. So I really enjoyed that element of my role. And then obviously a fantastic nugget is that I get to build teams and create friendships and memories that hopefully are long lasting and will stay with them hopefully for their adult lives, really. So that's a really good point. And then finally, I guess with sport, there's always a new challenge. There's always another week. There's always another game. So with obviously a sports industry, you always focus on what comes next. So it's always fresh and exciting.
Excellent. Thank you. And may I ask, how did you start out?
Yeah, great question. Interestingly, I was probably about 12 when I fell out of playing sport. And I got sort of my first sort of hands-on experience coaching. So when I was 12, I was very fortunate. My school at the time sort of allowed me to sort of step into a coaching role in terms of assisting and kind of taking over my school football team at the time. And we didn't win very many games at all. We lost quite a few and took a lot of hammerings, but it was a great experience. And we look back on that now when I see my friends back from school days, and we really reflect on those moments. So that was sort of my first taster. And then obviously you go through schooling. I did a referees course as well. So I got into football refereeing, which is, again, a lovely experience. One that I really recommend to those that want to play or coach, just so you get the understanding of the game and that role as a match official and the pressures that you have. You really have to build up some thick skin in that environment. And then really alongside my refereeing, I was still doing some coaching. I was at a local grassroots club back home, and they were really good with me, and they helped me out, and I did lots of holiday courses with them. So that was fantastic. And then after I finished, obviously, Ormiston Dean's Academy, I went on to sixth form. And then from sixth form, I did a couple of A-levels, PE, media, business, and IT. And then from there, I came across a university that's a little bit less known. It's called UCFB, and it's based, they've got a couple of campuses. The one I went to was in Wembley, and they do all sports business degrees. So my degree was football business and media. So at that point, my route was, I had a couple of pathways. Sports media was one, sports coaching, and then obviously sports officiating was another. So I went along, I did my degree in sports media, really enjoyed that. And then off the back of that, really, whilst I was there, I came across Kinder and started coaching there as a volunteer and just sort of built up really from there. And they got me in touch with this international school. That's kind of where I am, really. So a lot of odd routes to where I've got to now, but it's been quite a rewarding journey.
Excellent. And lastly, what would you say to someone looking to start out today?
Again, another great question. It's really difficult if you're starting right now, especially in a sort of post-lockdown, mid-COVID world. I think you for me, I was quite lucky. I had an idea of the industry I wanted to go into. So I wanted to go into sports, obviously predominantly football. And then I kind of narrowed my paths down based on what I liked, in terms of I got the experience of coaching or leading or officiating, and narrowed it down really. So I think it's an element of that. I feel you as a person need to take a lot of time. You've got to be patient and decide what's best for you and find your own path. A really good mentor of mine, he sort of gave me a good bit of advice of planning backwards. And I know that one crops up a couple of times, and I know a couple of your previous videos have mentioned it as well. But if you can have in your head, I guess, a chosen area or a chosen career, once you've got that in your head, you can kind of just work back and get in contact with a couple of people who have your desired role. So for me, I spent actually lockdown getting in touch with people via LinkedIn, coaches via LinkedIn. Contacted a lot of coaches, got a handful of responses, but from those responses had some really productive calls talking about their journey, talking about their problems, their lessons that they've learned, and built up this sort of bank of knowledge from that. So I'd really advise that. I know my background's more sport, but you can find quite easily people on LinkedIn, or just searching up a company, you can find maybe someone who's doing a similar role and just trying to find out from them what they're doing, and just get a bit of an insight as to what's going on. Particularly for anyone who likes sports and wants to get into sports, the big thing that we got sort of drummed into us at university was connections. You have to get connections. You've got to build up your network. And I mean, I got a job straight after I left university. I got a really good, I had a really good sports media role, which came off the back of meeting a guest speaker at our university. So all of those sort of interactions, whether it be a talk in a school or a university, or just passing someone, it's always an opportunity to sort of sell yourself and just find out a new opportunity that maybe you didn't think was there.
Yeah.
And I guess really sort of final few points is enjoy the journey. I'm not, I'm nowhere near done on that journey. Probably right down the start end with a lot of the people watching. But I'm enjoying the journey and enjoying the setbacks as well as the successes. But I think you've got to enjoy those setbacks as well, because especially in sport, as I say, you get a new week, you get a new game, a new challenge, almost off the back of the last one. And just a few weeks ago, I felt really low when a performance wasn't particularly great, and we had a couple of issues off the pitch. And then the next training session, we rectified it. We got everything back in shape, and then you're back being positive again. So it's really difficult, that journey, and managing those emotions, but enjoy it because it's part of the fun.